Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
That's a Valentine's Day release. I want everyone to know that stupid fact for the rest of the time. Not Halloween. Fucking Valentine's.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and everything between, and welcome to Season 4 of Super Fancom. I'm Retro Rick. It's been a while since we've done that intro, as for a few months, this show has been doing JoJo Bizarre Adventure content with my friend Beth from Deep Lore. But welcome back to Super Fancom Classic. Tonight I am joined by Deej.
I believe the PS5.
It probably doesn't. From like it's like a podcast or whatever, we have Rouge.
Hey, sugars.
And Mr. and Mrs. Internet and all the ships at sea, from what has become, honestly, one of my favorite new podcasts to listen to. From 30-2010, we have Miss Diana Goodman.
Hello.
Diana, what is 30-2010 and what do you do?
30-2010 is a podcast where we look back at this particular week 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and 10 years ago, which means we've been talking about the movies, music, weird TV shows, forgotten pilots, video games a bit, of just wrapping up 1990, 2000, and 2010, heading into New Year's.
Yes. It has honestly become my favorite podcast just to listen to on the weekly.
Yeah, well, it always ends up being fun because sometimes there'll be like weird overlaps, or I like it so much into discovering movies that maybe like, oh, we vaguely heard of, but I don't know anything about it, and then go watch it and be like, holy shit, that was great. I want to go tell everybody.
Yeah. Like that, I was just listening to the latest one with like Jack Nicholson's last role.
Yeah.
Because
Jack Nicholson has not been in a movie for now.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Is that the bucket list?
No, it's How Do You Know, which is a James L. Brooks rom-com that is incredibly disappointing for James L. Brooks.
I was going to ask, what's that for? That's all I need to know.
Oh, it's so disappointing. Yeah, I know. Like, we need Nicholson to come back just to do like a cameo in a really good movie, and just to make that be the last thing, then he could go back to retirement.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What happened? No. My notes. Go away. Come on. Alright, but thank you for being on, everyone. Welcome to a show we did the first time on Season 1 called Defend Yourself, where we take 3 things you enjoy, either it be a comic book, a movie, a song, or whatever you want, that you enjoy, that gets a bad rap, or get shit on, but you really enjoy it and want to defend it, and maybe tell people why you like it, and maybe have someone give it a second chance. So, actually, Deej, let's start off with you. What's your first one?
The video game Deadly Premonition. I know it's very low. It's low quality, and I admit that it has tons of graphic flaws and all that. But it's one of those. Okay, well, let me describe it this way.
It's Twin Peaks. It's Twin Peaks.
It's the room of video games. It's so bad, but it's very enjoyable, and I actually played that game all the way through on Xbox 360, and then I bought it on the Nintendo Switch so I could play that again while like driving or whatever. And it's just so fun. It's one of those games like it kind of itself seriously, but not really. And I think the developer knew that like halfway through development, is like, this game's kind of crap. Let's have fun with it, and the plot just goes like haywire, and it gets very enjoyable. So it's like one of those games where it's like, if you're willing to leave your brain at the door and you just want to like enjoy this fun murder mystery story, like it gets really wild out there, and it's a really fun game. And there were times the story was actually pretty good. So, and I know people will diss it because it looks like crap, and I fully admit the graphics look terrible. It looks like PS2, early PS2 graphics on current gen consoles. Trying playing current gen consoles, but I promise you, it's one of those, like, so bad, it's so good.
Nice. Okay, Rogue, on to you. What's your first one?
Okay, so I guess going with the theme of things that may be confusing, I'm going to go with the TV show The OA. I don't know if anyone's seen this, so
I haven't. No.
Oh my gosh. It was intended to be 5 seasons, and it got canceled after 2. And admittedly, there is sci-fi, fantasy, supernatural elements that combine in a really unique way that can maybe be overwhelming for people that are in only one of those genres or maybe none of them. But it is incredible for so many reasons. One, it gets some points for diversity. It shows some differently abled characters, main characters, which is pretty cool. Then you also have Phyllis Smith from The Office, who played Betty Broderick Allen, or BBA, which I think is a really cool nickname to have. So, yeah, I love getting to see Phyllis. And also, I am dying to know what in the world they intended to happen over the course of 5 seasons. You're like, I don't even know what's going on, but I really, really, really want to know. So I would love for people to give this a second chance, and then maybe, just maybe, it could get restarted and we could find out what happened.
Nice.
Okay. It's a mystery, but also supernatural or also science fiction?
Yes, it has all of those elements just smashed together with some really good acting too, and really, really dark, interesting themes. Yeah, like the sort of this idea of near-death experiences and how that changes people and maybe changes the trajectory of lives. It gets really out there. I get it, people who dismissed it. But I just give it a second chance, please. It's amazing.
Okay, interesting. I have Netflix, so I'll definitely add it to my watch list.
Yes.
Now, Diana, on to you. What's your first one?
Okay, well, we kind of have a theme going right now of things being confusing and not as they seem. So I decided to go and limit myself just to things I watched for 30-2010 this year that I hadn't seen before. So I've got one for each decade.
Okay.
And the 1990 film I'd heard of, but I'd never seen before, is Jacob's Ladder.
Ooh.
Starring Tim Robbins and Elizabeth Pena. And what a frickin' treat that's. I mean, first of all, I'm just watching it like, well, this is influential as heck. I recognize that. Oh, this looks like all of Silent Hill right here. Google. Oh yeah, Silent Hill makers said that they were inspired by this movie. Awesome. But, I mean, it's I don't even call it a psychological thriller because there seems to be supernatural things going on. Yeah. But, it's unclear. Sometimes things might be flashbacks and they might be happening concurrent, but it's about like a regular guy who's come back from Vietnam, and then he just starts seeing these creepy things like demons or something coming after him, and it doesn't make any sense until it does.
Yeah.
Now, Jacob's Ladder, are there any biblical themes or elements in there?
Not really. You'd think there would be more. I mean, maybe because they're these demon-looking monsters. So could angels be around? It's not clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard they're kind of dicks.
Oh yeah, you and your supernatural stuff.
I am a diehard. I cried like a little girl at the ending of Supernatural. I'm not gonna lie.
Good on you, man. On to part 2. Rogue, let's start with you.
Okay, so I'm going to give a Disney nod back to, maybe another podcast we've done together.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Meet the Robinsons. And this was a 2007 Disney movie, and it is super underrated. Have any of you guys seen it?
Nope.
I actually did finally watch it the other day. My girlfriend is a giant Disney obsessed nut, so when she finds out there's anything Disney related I haven't seen, she immediately makes me watch it. So I actually did finally get to see Meet the Robinsons, and I really did enjoy it.
Excellent. Yes, thank you. So it stars, or the main character is this 12-year-old boy, which, can we get more 12-year-old boy good influences in movies, please? This little boy is so sweet. He is orphaned. He's this inventor. And things I love about this movie is it actually celebrates failure. There's this entire scene where this one invention fails, and the whole family cheers and celebrates, and there's confetti, and it's like, you failed, that was amazing. And it's this perfect message of what failure should be, and this whole theme of keep moving forward, which, can we have that message this year? We really need it. Also, there's a dinosaur scene which I quote constantly. It's hysterical. You're laughing, Deej. I know
I know what you're talking about.
Yes, I will leave it at that because you need to see it. Also, Rob Thomas and the song Little Wonders that plays at the end, tears. I cry at a lot of movies, but also just that perfect Disney moment with Rob Thomas, whom I also adore, singing Little Wonders. It is, yes, definitely underrated, and we need these messages.
Good shit, good shit.
Well, can I go next? Mine's, again, related.
You can, yes.
Yeah, it's another Disney movie. Disney movie from 2000 that I just wrote off because I was like, it looks like little kid stuff. The Emperor's New Groove I finally watched.
Oh!
And I realized it's a generational thing that I was just,
I've yet to. I know about it. I had to watch it, but I want to because I love David Spade and everything he does.
Yes, David Spade. David Spade makes that movie. Yes,
it really does, and it's so interesting that there's an entire unreleased documentary about the making of it. See, it is an ordeal. You can find it too, but very unofficially. It's called This Way. And it's about the making of Emperor's New Groove back when it was called Kingdom in the Sun or of the Sun. And they hired Sting to do all the songs. But they keep rewriting the plot, and Sting, can't keep up. He's like, writing songs is, you just changed the whole plot. I had a song right here about friendship, and now they're not friends anymore. What am I supposed to do with this? And it just, you see how it goes on for months, how they just have to rework it, and they're like, it's mostly done. And the execs say no. And they have to scrap, the whole plot. Originally, it was a Prince and the Pauper thing with David Spade and Wilson. Wilson's not in the movie anymore. He's gone.
Wow.
Isn't it John Goodman?
Yeah, and then John Goodman comes in as a different kind of character. And the fact that they put it back together and made it work so well, that's just amazing. But even without the behind-the-scenes stuff, it's probably the most physically funny Disney movie I've ever seen. It's so much more like a Warner Brothers cartoon, where it's just constant physical gags. Oh my god. I was just so blown away by it. I was laughing my butt off. And that it gives an entire generation new love for Eartha Kitt. That makes me happy as a person who is a fan of old things.
I also appreciate the fact that they slipped a lot of dirty jokes into this movie.
Yeah.
You got to kind of watch the movie twice to catch them.
It's been on my watch list for ages. I just need to watch it eventually.
Oh, dude, that's it's on my top 5 list of favorite Disney movies of all time. That was actually my first date I ever went on my life. I took a girl to go see Emperor's New Groove.
Wow.
Aww,
so nice. Cute.
That's adorable.
I think I enjoyed it more than she did.
Yeah. I just can't think of many other Disney movies that are just comedy. There's no love interest. There's not even really a subplot. It's just kind of, here's just a whole ton of gags for you. And at the end, we do learn a good message. Don't be a selfish dick. And that's it.
Nice. I will check that out now. Because I love anything David Spade is in, except any of the grown-up movies. I say that because friend of the show is actually in them.
Oh. Well, David Spade is great, but be ready for Patrick Warburton to steal every scene.
Well, he steals everything he's ever in, anyway.
He got a sequel. They made a sequel to Emperor's New Groove.
That's right.
And took it.
That's amazing.
His voice acting is top.
It's called Kronk's New Groove. I'm not joking.
Should I watch it?
I haven't personally seen it yet, but I got Disney Plus. It should be on there, so I might watch it later tonight.
Okay. I might try it.
It should be on Disney Plus, at least. They put everything on there.
Yeah. just for, spend a little bit more time with these goofy characters. Yeah, all right, I might do it.
I mean, if I saw that movie and the TV show, I should be able to watch the sequel.
It was a TV show?
Yeah, The Emperor's New School. It ran
Jesus
for 3
Christ.
seasons on the Disney Channel, and Patrick Warburton returned as Kronk for the TV show.
Of course he would.
Yeah, no, it was actually pretty good. They somehow kept the same energy, same gags for the TV show, and it was actually well done, in my opinion.
Wow. That can't be easy because it's a very frantic style of comedy that's very un-Disney.
No, it wasn't. My favorite is a lot of the recurring joke in the gag in the show is the monkey eating the bug.
All right. You're next.
Keeping on topic with Disney related,
Jesus
actually.
Christ.
It's not a Disney show, or I think it technically counts as one because it was on ABC. Have you guys ever heard of the show Gallivant?
No.
So it was a TV show, but it was also a musical show. And it starred. It's basically the plot was this knight Gallivant, who's supposed to be the best of all the knights, loses his loving his woman to this evil king who's basically just a giant man-child, and then eventually Gallivant goes on this big rescue mission to get her back, and she goes, nah, I like being rich instead. And so so then later he's this fat, washed-up guy. And the princess goes to find him, says, "You were Gallivant. You're this hero. You're supposed to save people." And so the first season is her trying to get him back into fighting shape, so then he could maybe go get his love back again, even though she's just a horrible person. And it ran for 2 seasons, Len. I immediately bought the DVD when it came out.
Oh.
Nice.
And the reason I say it's Disney related is because a lot of the people who wrote the songs are people who wrote music songs for Beauty and the Beast, Broadway, a lot of Disney Broadway shows.
Nice.
And the king, you will hate the king in the first season, but by the second season, you grow to love the guy, it's not an easy thing, but it's amazing. He's so great.
Oh, Vinny Jones is in this.
Oh my gosh. That's pretty audacious to not just do sort of a, fairy tale set comedy, but to also make it a musical.
Well, what was sad was it ran for 2 seasons. It ended. They even admit in the songs saying we barely just made it. The ratings weren't so good. and then when it ended, the creator said, "Oh, we're gonna give it the big finale it deserves by doing it on Broadway. We're actually going to bring the show to Broadway." I was excited, and that never happened. I don't know, and I would love for people to give this a chance, try and find it, watch it, and let the creators know, oh, there is an audience, maybe we should bring it back. Because I guarantee it's hysterical, it's funny, the songs are actually really good. There's a song that a friend and I quote every time we go to the bar is, "We're off on a secret mission, we got us a secret plot." Every time. He and I quote the songs every time.
That is, I appreciate the musicality of that. That is amazing. It reminds me of Monty Python and how Spamalot went to Broadway.
There is definitely Monty Python influence in this.
Oh.
Also, if there's any fans of Weird Al Yankovic, he plays one of the singing monks.
Sold.
Okay. Well, I'm looking. I'm seeing only 2 seasons, 18 episodes. They're hour. Sounds like I just found my Christmas project.
It's a quick binge. I promise it's worth the watch. The king, like I said, goes. You hate him to. Oh my God. This is the best guy ever. I don't want to spoil anything. You just have to watch it. But I'll just let you know, the king is just a giant wussy.
Okay. On to our final one. Diana, go.
Okay, so 10 years ago is your movie that is one of those movies where you watch it and you're like, I love this and I want to show it to everyone. So I showed it to my husband last night, and he agreed with me. From 2010, Easy A, starring Emma Stone, Penn Badgley, Thomas Hayden Church. Didn't get the attention it deserved. It is a really solid modern teen comedy. It's a comedy.
That one. Oh, okay.
Right, where...
Oh, it's got Amanda Bynes. That's right.
Now, Amanda Bynes as, a super Bible thumper, she is really good. She's just the right kind of, very superior, judgmental kind of Bible thumper that, I recognized from school. They're the kind of people it's I'll pray for you. It's you're not saying that in a nice way. Yeah, but Emma Stone plays a teenager, and a rumor spreads that, she's like the school slut, and then she totally plays into it because thematically they're also reading Scarlet Letter at the time. So she starts being a fake prostitute, and people pay her to say that she slept with them, so it'll like help their image.
Oh, that movie! Doesn't she like sew a Scarlet A into her shirt as she's like, I remember that now.
Yeah. And I mean, it did okay. I mean, it was a pretty low budget movie. It's got a really deep bench of funny people in it. Lisa Kudrow, Stanley Tucci, Patricia Clarkson, Thomas Hayden Church, and Malcolm McDowell for some reason is their principal. No real reason.
It's Malcolm McDowell. He does check.
Yeah, but he's funny.
Yeah.
And
he was good in Community.
Yeah, he was great on Community. But I was so surprised by it because it's basically a modern John Hughes movie that knows all John Hughes movies and takes a lot of those tropes and comments on them. Like, it's almost like they know they're in a movie, but not in like a winky, isn't this wacky way.
Okay,
it's
good.
Just like, it's very media aware, and it knows like, yeah, these are the tropes, and I wish my life were more like a John Hughes movie where everyone's more mature, and sometimes music numbers happen, and people don't have these problems that are stupid, and they have other problems that are easily solvable.
Nice.
And the dialogue is incredibly funny, and everyone is so charming. Yeah, Easy A it's the kind of movie you watch it, and you're like, why didn't anyone tell me about this? I love this.
Okay. Deej, on your last one.
My last one this is for an anime movie called Red Shoes and the Seven Dwarfs. So, like, little backstory to this movie. It was originally supposed to come out about 3, maybe 4 years ago. But the marketing was so terrible. Okay, well, let me explain this. The plot of the movie is Red Shoes and this is basically their own version, reimagining of Snow and the Seven Dwarfs, where the Seven Dwarfs were actually these guys. They were actually normal humans until they were cursed and became tiny little green men. So they're dwarves. And Red Shoes is Snow White, but she's plump. She's a really big, thick girl. But when she puts on shoes, she becomes like this hot, skinny-looking, sexy thing. And there actually is a story. Like, basically, the plot is, like, she's trying to find her dad because her evil stepmother is secretly basically killing people and like taking their energy so she could remain youthful forever. But the marketing, when it was released, they came as banners saying, "Oh, what if Snow White wasn't so beautiful, and what if the dwarves weren't so small?" And people saw that as, "Oh, you're fat shaming. This is terrible." It got so much backlash that the movie basically was pulled from release.
Ooh.
And because people thought this was a movie going to be about fat shaming or making yourself feel bad, when it's the total opposite. This movie is about accepting it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside, it's what it matters on the inside. And there's like maybe one fat joke in the entire movie, but it's like not even major. It's the whole movie. It's like, yeah, it's such a beautiful movie. I'll admit it's like not one of the best anime movies ever, but it's so good. I feel like now that it's been released on DVD, it's actually come to America. I feel like people should actually give it a chance. Forget the stupid marketing. Forget people thinking it's about bullying or fat shaming or anything. I highly recommend it because it's actually really fun. There's a lot of big voice actors in this, like Chloe Moretz. There's a lot of Disney actors there, including Patrick Warburton as the Person Mirror.
Okay, I'm looking at the cast list. Chloe Grace Moretz, Patrick Warburton, Gina Gershon, can't go wrong. Speaking of Community, we have Jim Rash.
Hey,
so I'm already sold just on him because he does great work.
Mm-hmm.
So with the title Red Shoes and the Seven Dwarfs, so does it also have, because there's a fairy tale, the Red Shoes.
Yes.
So that combine that where like the shoes like have minds of their own and they like make you dance when you don't want to dance. And
So it's technically two stories combined in one. So the Seven Dwarfs are actually, they're called the fearsome. They were called like the fearsome seven. It's basically Merlin, King Arthur, and a couple other these other fairy tale characters.
Oh.
And the story thought they were about to defeat this evil goblin queen when actually it was actually a fairy princess, and she cursed them, turned them into tiny green men. So, and the only way to break the curse is that they get a kiss from the most beautiful woman in the world. And that's when they meet Red Shoes, because her story is she's trying to find her dad. She's trying to figure out what's going on with the kingdom. It's the evil step queen is, secretly taking people and turning them into apple trees. Because then basically their souls are getting are transferred to this apple, turned to these red shoes, and when she puts it on, she becomes young again. I know that sounds like I fully admit it. Watch the movie; it makes more sense. Mm-hmm. The same people, by the way, who worked on Tangled did this movie, so this is also Disney related.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting. Never crossed my radar right now.
Because I have to fully admit, I've seen so many different, like Snow White or Cinderella, whatever, redone. When I first heard, I was like, this looks like or sounds like the stupidest thing ever. And then I watched it. I'm like, oh my god, there was effort put into this.
All right, Ro, you're the last one. You're up.
All right, so this last one I have might get an eye roll from some, but if you're gonna give me an eye roll, I feel like then this message is definitely you to give this a second chance. So my thing is Jesus, not the Bible thumpers of Easy A, not the religion, not the guilt, not the rules or obligation, but the Jesus of Christmas, this little baby Jesus, this idea that this God humbled himself to take on the human experience. And no matter your past or your present, God is bigger than that. And there's this really beautiful song by 10th Avenue North that the chorus says, "You are more than the choices that you've made. You are more than the sum of your past mistakes. You are more than the problems you create. You've been remade." So no matter what you believe or have believed or done or not done, there is this love, this overwhelming love in the universe that is for you, that God is inviting you into just this personal relationship. It's not even the church or the Bible or anything, just God is inviting you, and it's an invitation that is always open, and it is worth a second chance.
That's really beautiful, Ro.
Yeah. You know what? I'll say this. I'm Jewish, and I am a big fan of Jesus.
That's awesome.
He's from the Bible, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Bible one.
Doesn't he come back at the end? Hashtag spoilers.
Yes.
What? I haven't made that far in the Bible.
Jesus wins and love wins, and I think that's a great message for us.
I actually got nervous when you said you were going to say something that would make me roll my eyes. I thought you were going to say we should give Rise of Skywalker a second chance.
Oh.
And I was gonna walk out of this office.
I can endorse the philosophy of Jesus of Nazareth. I don't know if I can go that far.
I would sooner embrace Jesus than go to Daisy Ridley.
Again, saying this as a Jew, Jesus, things he said, they're pretty cool. I like them.
And then I heard Jesus and Buddha become roommates.
Yes, that's an anime.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
They have a lot in common. I think they'd get along.
It's a fantastic anime.
It's also a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's Jesus, Buddha, and the elephant god as roommates.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. That was the thing.
Yeah, I remember binge watching that and then checking out the video game of Les Mis.
Wait, there's a video game of Les Mis?
Yes, there's a fighting video game of Les Mis.
What?
Yes, and there's a robot that's involved too.
What?
Yeah.
I have so many questions.
It's based off a manga. They turned Les Mis into a manga.
And there's a robot.
Yes, and there's a fighting robot because Japan.
What hasn't been turned into a manga? That's a better question.
I mean, they turned Twilight into a manga.
It was already halfway there.
Yeah.
Unless there are more robots.
Nope, not that I know of. But
I feel like that's a really good deep dive research topic. Yeah, what is the most unnecessary manga? Why would you adapt this?
Yes, why? Yes, future episode, why is this a thing?
I'll start with Goblin Slayer.
Oh. That hurts. Oh, God.
I'm joking.
I
I'm
know.
joking. A better one would be, and I swear to God, this is a real thing. To save the world, would you wake up in the morning with a demigod? The plot is, and I shit you not, the demon king is coming back, and the only way to stop him is if the legendary hero shows up. But the only way the legendary hero can show up is gets pregnant. The girl has to birth the legendary hero. So the angels sent down to find this boy and force him to try and have sex with all these other different like this. By the way, this takes place in a world where there's elves and demons and orcs exist. So they're trying to force him to have sex with all of these guys. But since it's the main character, he's got to have some kind of social trait. His problem is when he gets aroused, his whole body stiffens, and almost like he gets knocked out. So these people try to have sex with him, but it's almost like he went to a coma. He doesn't remember even doing it.
I have so many issues with this.
I know. I was at a Barnes and Noble reading it with a friend, and I'm like, how did you get even to America? How did cancel culture not figure this out?
Cancel culture is done. Why haven't they gone after this?
Like, I show people at, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Was a good manga.
I'm getting so sick of hearing that because over on my JoJo podcast, half the voice actors are from there. I'm like, oh, and this actor was in Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? And this actor is from, have you seen? Yep. Which leads me to one I recently came across, In Another World with My Smartphone, which just based on this, the description is basically, we have an unfortunate victim of a lightning bolt thrown carelessly by God, and because he wasn't supposed to die at the age of 15, God is willing to cut him a deal. So this kid is reborn and placed in a different world, giving him ultimate knowledge and use over magic, and allowed to keep like one item. So he uses he picks up his smartphone, takes it with him, and his smartphone can basically translate every language, and he equips the kid with all these different properties.
Okay.
Like, that sounds interesting. Be interested in that. The different thing. It's an isekai, but But enough going on anime because I've been anime down for a while.
I am not an anime, and I will fight anybody.
It's fine.
I've had so many people for so long try to get me into anime, and there have been some I've watched and I go, oh, that's good. You know, Miyazaki, can't complain.
I can't stand Miyazaki. He's not for me.
I've seen Akira now, and I'm like, oh yeah. No, I appreciate how good that is, yes. And just about everything else is just like, I can't. I'm allergic to it. About, yeah, I know, and it's bummer because like there's plenty of things out there that I probably would enjoy if I could like get over the aesthetic, and it's like I can't. I've tried. So many people have tried.
Hey, Deej, is that what you like, Frozen?
We go back in the podcast. I'm infamous for hating Frozen.
Oh my gosh.
I hate Frozen.
Why?
I just did not like the first movie. For a couple reasons. One, the song "Let It Go." I heard it so many times that I'm pretty sure I would black out and wake up with blood on my hands. Also, people treat it like it's the second coming of Jesus. Like they're saying it was the best movie ever, best story. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was average at best. I sat through it at least twice. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm missing something. I'll watch it again. Not like a second time. I was like, it's just any other Disney movie. But the fan base and everything, it just drove me to hate it so much. I don't know. I would make other little picks. I was like, the only good thing about it was the song. I did not the story. I did not believe Elsa and Anna were actually sisters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're not alone in this. There's like an entire world of people who have 7-year-old girls. Mm-hmm. You guys can form a club easily. Just like fuck Frozen, I'm sick of Frozen, I hate Frozen, I hate everything about it.
Actually, you know what's funny? I got into a debate with a guy of who hated Frozen the most, and I lost.
He had the big dick?
I lost because I bought Kingdom Hearts 3, which has a Frozen level in it. It's the worst goddamn level in the game.
Yeah.
Frozen Maze. The level is Sora climbs up mountain, falls down, climbs up mountain, falls down, climbs up mountain, falls down. You don't interact with Elsa. You barely do shit. It's like, it was the worst. It was shoved in the game. I will fight someone that said that Frozen level was just shoved in there, and they make you listen to Let It Go the entire cut thing, and it's just scenes of Sora and Goofy going like, oh, who's singing that? It's like, I can't, and you can't skip it.
Garf!
And I
Oh my gosh.
die.
Rick, here's a future podcast idea. You get people who hate things and people who like those things that the people hate, and then we talk about it.
Perfect. I like that.
Fight!
Yes.
It'll be a change of pace. The last time Rick did that with a movie, he got me and a friend of ours, and we watched the Death Note live-action movie, and that was fun.
Oh.
Because Death Note is my favorite manga of all time. So seeing the American version of that, it was pretty much like watching my child getting slapped in the face multiple times.
Oh yeah, I feel you on. I feel you.
Yeah. When we discovered it was basically a gender reversal.
Oh yeah, that was my
Yeah, if you
Like,
go into
they
it,
couldn't-
if you go into it being a gender reversal movie with Light is Misa and Misa is basically Light, you have no problem. And going in with never
Rick,
hair.
it's not Misa, it's Mia.
Oh yeah, Mia
'Cause we gotta
Turner.
change that.
Mia
Yeah.
Turner.
Oh my gosh. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And like years ago, it was supposed to be Zac Efron playing Light. Have you ever been to Zac Efron?
Oh my god.
If anyone's ever seen Vicious.
The only thing that was good about that movie that I thought was actually a smart choice for an American version was they got William Dafoe as the voice of Ryuk.
Yes.
I agree all the time.
That was the one good thing. When I saw that, I was like, okay, we're off to a great start. Let's keep going. And then I saw the movie, and I was like, wow, you ruined Death Note for me.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a good way to wrap this thing up. We might do another one of these, or we might do the reverse of it, which is basically your favorite thing is trash, which is basically we take three things that are like really popular and like you say why you don't like it.
I already did that with Frozen the first time we did it.
I think you went on for like a 20-minute rant.
I'm pretty sure half the podcast is me venting about why I hated Frozen.
But if there's like a rebuttal from someone who like genuinely loves it, and then if there could be like ways where like they like have to agree on like one of the other person's points or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have a friend who Frozen. She's a diehard fan of Frozen, and I almost lost a bet where I would have had to dress up as Kristoff with her while she was Elsa. for a
Actually,
party.
you would make a great Kristoff.
That's what everyone keeps saying.
You really would, Deej.
No, that's what makes it sad.
Aw.
I know what did shock people was I was like, Frozen 2 was actually really good, and then everyone had a stroke, or they thought my account got hacked. It's like someone hacked Deej's account. Someone wrote Frozen 2 was good. I'm like, no, I thought the sequel was way better.
Wow. Okay.
It did make me want to drive off a cliff.
Yeah, they didn't overplay those songs as much either.
No, there was actually a good story I liked. The characters I thought were actually much more fleshed out, and the songs were I thought, in my opinion, were still enjoyable, but not ear-piercingly annoying. Because I'll make the long story short. In the art book, it actually tells you what the original story for Frozen was. They wrote "Let It Go," and that completely changed the entire movie, and that's another reason why I hate it.
Wow.
If you get the art of Frozen, it tells you the whole original plot. Elsa was supposed to be evil. She looked blue and everything, had this really badass design, and that stupid song.
So we're living Darkest Timeline then.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. This was some guy playing piano goes like, I like the song, but let's change the story. Let's just ruin it. Yeah. And then I hate
in this, which timeline has the Emperor's New Groove that now has a bunch of Sting songs in it?
Ooh, that's a good point. Did Sting write the song? Because Disney released one of Emperor New Groove's songs where Yzma sings about the sun.
Yeah.
Was that written by Sting?
Yeah, that was one of the Walk the Llama Llama. Was originally a whole number.
Maybe
And
at that time
they're
when
on
we
the
got
soundtrack, but yeah.
that movie went through so many changes.
Yeah, it's bonkers. Yeah, watching the Sweat Box and it's like he's working on this song. He's working on never heard this one either. No, I think some of them ended up on some of his albums, but it's like Sting is sort of like maybe a little too complex for a kids movie. Like the lyrics are kind of complicated, and it's not like Elton John, you know. Yeah, it's an interesting watch. Watch it on YouTube before Disney comes for it again, because they tend to get it banned.
Yeah.
Well,
I have an entire new list of things. Thank you, guys.
I know. I got a bunch of stuff now. I'm gonna check them out.
Same here. This wrap it up for us again. Where can you be found?
I am on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at DJ Luongo Art.
All right, Rogue, where can you be located?
So you can find It's Like a Podcast or whatever everywhere by searching hashtag ILAPOW. We are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of the things, Spotify, Apple, I podcast, all that. And then I am everyday_rogue on Instagram.
Nice. Diana, where can people find you?
Well, they can find me personally on Twitter at LicinANerd, LECINENERD, or they could follow 302010 Podcast wherever they find podcasts. Also on Twitter at 302010 Podcast as we head into 1991 and 2001 and 2011. I'm just interested in 1991 because I know there is the perfect Valentine's Day coming up, and I cannot wait.
1991. I think we.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd say 1991.
Yep, I know.
The most romantic film ever came out. Watch it with your closest loved one with some fava beans and a nice bottle of Chianti. Yeah, Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
That's a Valentine's Day release. I want everyone to know that stupid fact for the rest of the time. Fact, not Halloween. Fucking Valentine.
That just pushed away Deadpool as the best Valentine's Day movie for me.
There you go. You're welcome.
And that's why I love 302010, just for dumb facts like that.
That's what we know.
Yep.
Stupid fucking facts.
Yep. They're like Snapple facts. All right. You can find me and follow the show on Twitter and Facebook, the SuperFancomShow. On YouTube, if you type in SuperFancom, as well as our regular audio versions of our show. We are on Spotify, Podbean, Buzzsprout, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM. We are brought to you by JList.com, the Kawaii Box, Things from Another World. And if you'd like to help out our show, we have a Patreon, Coffee page, and PayPal. Every dollar helps. Or if you're in the Northeast and in the New England area, I co-run a store called The Stronghold, where we rent movies because there's way too many subscription services.
Yeah.
And if you're in Connecticut, we do have that digital tax where it's...
You have a digital tax?
Yeah, it's 6% on every streaming service you have.
What?
Yeah.
That sucks.
But the Stronghold has movies that rent and sell. We have a ton of rentals from like the 40s, the 60s, the 80s, and everywhere in between. And if you don't have a DVD player, we actually do have portable DVD players to rent, as well as VHS players because we also rent out VHS movies.
Okay, renting VHS players is kind of brilliant. Because I'm the last person I know with an operable VHS player.
I have two.
But I know a lot of people who still have a lot of old tapes, and they're like, I don't know what to do, but I think family movies are on here.
Yep. Yes, we have VHS and DVD players for people to rent. They're like $10, and you rent it, and you get it for the whole month.
Damn.
Yep. We also
Nice.
sell retro video games, Magic the Gathering, and Dragon Ball Z cards. We sell comics, music from the 50s to the 90s, and we have a lot of nostalgic 90s stuff. We are located at 13 White Street in Plainville, Connecticut. We also have something called Cheerwine, which is amazing. It's basically...
Wait, Cheerwine the drink?
Yes.
Oh, that is a southern favorite.
Yes, only people from the South know what cheerwine is.
Cheerwine is the best. It's like black cherry soda.
Yes.
I got family in the South, and I always grab a whole bunch of it when I'm down there, and they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Cause I can't get it."
It's so good.
Oh, I got
Oh, my dog agrees. Yeah.
Good dog. Deej, any last words?
Yeah, Attack on Titan, it was just made for people who are fans of Vor. Fight me.
Oh, what a take. Rogue, any last words?
This was just so fun. Thank you all.
Always love having one. Diana, first of all, thank you for being on, taking the time to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Took me a while to narrow down. There's just so many things. I mean, I'm a classic film fan. Really had to come up with parameters, but this is cool, and I like your guys' suggestions. I'm gonna go check some of them out.
Any last words?
Yeah, I
Wear a
love
face mask.
I love how everyone was just like, I'm so happy, everyone's, and I just ended with, this sucks, I hate Frozen. That's just been made this entire episode.
Okay, thank you all for being on. We're going out with the song Break My Heart by Dua Lipa. So for Deej, Everyday Rogue, and Diana, thank you all for listening. Good night.
I've always been the one to say the first goodbye. Had to love and lose 100 million.